Hi everybody, myself Dr. Mohan, working as an Associate Professor in CSE Department of Kalaignar Karunanidhi Institute of Technology, Coimbatore. Now I am going to give a short lecture on firewalls. So in this lecture we are going to see what is firewall and brief history of firewalls, types of firewalls and how a firewall works and its applications. Now we have to see what is firewall. So firewall is a system designed to prevent unauthorized access to or from a private network. Firewalls are frequently used to prevent unauthorized internet users from accessing private networks connected to the internet, especially intranets. So all messages entering or leaving the internet pass through the firewall, that is intranet, which examines each messages and blocks those that do not meet the specified security criteria. So if you take the history of firewall, emerged in 1980s when the intranet was fairly, that is internet was fairly new technology in terms of its global use and connectivity. So now I want to classify one thing, that intranet is an network. So similar types of intranet are different, what we can say, categories of intranet can connected together and that will form an internet. So the predecessor to firewall for network security were the routers used in the late 1980s. So here we can see that diagrammatic representation of the router, how it is working. So the process of the router is from where we are getting that particular packet, whether we have to allow that packet or not. So this restrictions will be done by router. So router itself we have configured and we analyzed all the traffic packets and we forwarded that packet to the nearby nodes. So Clifford Stolz discovered a German spy was tampering with the system, and Bill Gispik's evening with before 1992, in which he set up a simple electronic jail to observe an attacker. So here we are seeing the types of firewall. So mainly we have three types of firewall. One is network layer firewall, second one is application layer firewall, and the third one is proxies. It is in another way we can call that network layer firewall as packet filtering router, that application layer firewall is application level gateway, and proxies that are known as circuit level gateways. So if you take network firewalls or network layer firewalls, it also called packet filters, operate at a relatively low level of the TCP/IP protocol stack, not allowing packets to pass through the firewall unless they match the established rule set. So that admin should establish some rule set to cross that particular packet filter. The firewall administrator may define the rules or default rules may apply. So application layer firewalls. So if you take that application layer firewalls, it work on the application level of TCP/IP stack, that is all browser traffic or all telnet or FTP traffic, and may intercept all packets traveling to or from an application. They block other packets, usually dropping them without acknowledgement to the sender. The third criteria is proxies. It is also known as circuit level gateway. A proxy server running either on dedicated hardware or as a software on general purpose machine may act as a firewall by responding to input packets, connection requests for example, in manner of an application while blocking other packets. A proxy server is gateway from one network to another for a specific network application, in the sense that it functions as a proxy on behalf of the network user. For example, it is operate on, that proxy server is operate on session layers to maintain sessions. It will establish two connectivity, that is the TCP connection is not allowed end to end. So that will be divided, and from inner network to outer network we can connect by the help of two different circuits. So we are having proxy in between outer network and inner network. That proxy will consist two circuit. One circuit is from outside network to inside network. From that proxy to inside network we will have some other circuit. So it will validate the session and it will establish the connectivity within the system. So if the administrator is having more trust on the internal user, then only this kind of proxy is allowed to set up. So there are also other types of firewalls, that is hardware and software firewalls. So firewalls employ hardware devices like broadband routers for protecting network. Software firewalls employ a software running on the host computer to ensure the network protection. So here you can see that different types of hardware and software firewalls, how it is incorporated with the internet. So here we have internet. So this network is public network. So here we have a hardware firewall, usually a part of a TCP IP router. So this is an internal network. So the internal network is splitted by the help of firewall. So whatever the communication which is going on inside the network will pass through this firewall only. So this is a secure private network that is indicated in blue in color, and the outside network that is indicated in red in color. So if a computer with firewall software may also provide internet connectivity. So instead of hardware setup, we can use a host computer system with software which will act as a firewall. So the firewall software will work on behalf of the internal network. So how a firewall works? So here you can see the firewall, and the left hand side of firewall we have a secure private network, and the right hand side of firewall we have an internet connectivity. This is an outside network. So restricted traffic. So what is restricted traffic? Means a traffic which is designated by the administrator with the rules and regulation designed by the administrator. This traffic will flow through this firewall. So allowed traffic is, it is satisfying the criteria which is assigned by the administrator. So restricted traffic is which is not satisfying the criteria which is assigned by the network administrator. So this kind of restricted traffic, that is traffic which is indicated in the red in color, will not allow to the outside network. Why? Means it is not satisfying the rules and regulation designated by the network administrator. The allowed traffic which is indicated in green in color, so it shows that the traffic is satisfying the particular criteria which is designated by the network administrator. So the network administrator will configure the firewall with set of rules and regulations. So if that particular traffic is satisfying the particular regulation, then that will be allowed to the outside network. In the meanwhile, the same will applicable for outside network to inside network also. So if any unknown traffic occur, that will not allowed by the firewall, because already it is configured with set of rules and regulation. So only traffic from the internet meeting specified criteria will be allowed. So the specified traffic if occur, then that will be passed through this firewall and it will reach the internal network. There are two access denial methodologies used by firewalls. A firewall may allow all traffic through unless it meets certain criteria, or it may deny all traffic unless it meets certain criteria. Firewalls may be concerned with the types of traffic or with source or destination address and ports. They may also use complex rule bases that analyze the application data to determine if the traffic should be allowed through. The types of criteria used to determine whether traffic should be allowed through varies from one type of firewall to another, like IP addresses, protocols, ports, and domains. Then applications of firewall. At a personal level, firewall does the following things, that is, block or alert the user about all unauthorized inbound or outbound connections attempts. Allows the user to control which programs can and cannot access the local network and or internet, and provide the user with information about an application that makes a connecting or connection attempt. Hide the computer from port scan by not responding to unsolicited network traffic. Then monitor applications that are listening for incoming connections. Monitoring and regulate all incoming and outgoing internet users. It prevents unwanted network traffic from locally installed applications, and it provides information about the destination server with which an application is attempting to communicate. Then anyone who is responsible for a private network that is connected to a public network needs firewall protection. Furthermore, anyone who connects so much as a single computer to the network, that is internet, via modem should a modem should have personal firewall software. So we can use personal firewall software as well as a general firewall software also. Then limitations of firewalls. A firewall cannot enforce your password policy or prevent misuse of passwords. Firewalls cannot protect you from poor decisions, and firewall cannot protect you when your security policy is too lax. Firewalls cannot stop internal user from accessing websites with malicious code, making user education criteria everything. Thank you.